So what we're looking at from up here, we're on the eastern rock cut, and we're looking over towards turn number 2 into this corner, and as you go towards the right, we'll see the apex of the corner into turn number 1. And this whole area here is going to come up a little bit more and all the way in through the front stretch as we go towards looking towards the west. And all that whole area will come up another 3 or 4 feet in order to get to the surface that we need to get at. So turn number 4, as we head towards the northwest, you can see where we blasted all that rock out. So it's come down quite a bit where we've blasted, and all this whole racetrack, all that rock comes from that blasting that we did all the way into turn number 3. As we head towards the east in the back, you can see the piles there. We cleared out that entire bush over the last year and a half, and we've been hauling in the fill from Weyerhaeuser since that time. So it's come a long ways how much it's changed, but you can really see the shape of the racetrack all the way along the backstretch, and that's one of the great features of this track, is having this back rock cut. I mean, if you want to represent Kenora, this is one of the great ways to do that, and that's with this rock cut, just to signify that there's a lot of rock Canadian Shield in Kenora, and this racetrack's going to be a representation of that.
So maybe Anthony, some of the features that you're going to add to this property as well?
So for added features, we'll definitely, we have to add our safety barriers still, and you can see straight across from where we're standing is where the grandstand is going to be. So eventually, and behind on that front stretch is going to be a grandstand that will be about 250 feet long. For now, we're going to actually just set up a gravel pad, and we'll put temporary stands up to hopefully fit about 1,000 to 1,200 people, and there'll be safety barriers along that front stretch and fencing to protect the fans. And then to the north there, that's where all the rigs will be parking, all the race cars, and eventually we'll have another road entrance that connects with Jones Road that's separate from the fan parking, so that we'll be able to have those 2 separate entrances and be able to control what comes in and out that way. So eventually what we'll try to do is add a go-kart track for younger ages as well, a smaller oval track like they do at Emo, and hopefully that will help entice future generations to be a part of Lake of the Woods Speedway.
That'll be on the north end as well?
Yeah, so on the north end is going to be the pit area there, and so we'll set up all the parking. The cars will come on from that aspect coming into turn number 4, and then they'll come off the track at the rock cut here at the edge here and back in. So there's not too much that goes into a pit parking area other than rigs. Usually it's just an open area, just like the fan parking over to the southwest where we have the trailers. That will be all cleared up and finished and graded. Hopefully in the next several weeks we'd like to get that done, because that's one of the easiest parts to do, and we'll make a difference there.
Maybe you can talk a bit about what still needs to be done before we start racing in the fall or in the winter?
Well, one of the big advantages where we are right now is that the rock's gone and we have the subsurface for the most part done. So what is going to happen next is that we'll bring in a series of material that's going to come in and raise this area about 2 feet or so, 2 to 3 feet, and it'll go all the way around the racetrack, because we're not quite where we need to be at the height, because the front stretch has a bit of a hump in there, so everything's going to come to that hump for the subsurface. And then eventually what we'll do is we're going to haul in about 12 inches of clay, and we were able to identify and source the clay earlier this spring, and that will come in about 5,000 yards of that, and that essentially is going to be our racing surface. So beyond that is the safety barriers, and we're pretty much ready to go. So unlike the blasting, which was very specialized, this is really a matter of hauling and fill, leveling it, and then putting up some fencing and barriers, and we're ready to go. So we're very, very close, and this is something that's quite possible to get done over the next several months, so we can do something come this fall. So we're so close. I would probably estimate to say we're probably about 40 to 50% of the way there, compared to last year at this time where we were maybe 5% of the way there.